Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? Hope everybody had a rewarded weekend. Algorithm. This show is the Uplift, where people experience the moment and they expand their clarity. It's wonderful to have everybody here today. Uh, what we're going to do is that we are going to talk about a subject that I think a lot of people, I know a lot of people kind of neglect, and that is the word familiarity. Familiarity or familiar. So we're going to discuss that today. This show is all about uncovering the deeper realities that influence our thoughts, our feelings, and our choices. You see, I fully believe if you can see clearly, then you have the option of being able to see what's possible. And so that's what it is that we do here. You have the opportunity to be more intentional with your life in order to be seeing what's possible in your life. Wonderful to see you. Lisa, wonderful to see you. Everybody, while you're coming on in here, go ahead and let me know what state that you're watching from. Go ahead and let me know what state that you're watching from. Uh, you know, when I talk about the things that we share here on the Uplift, these are something that a lot of people don't talk about. The reason why I bring it up is because often there are deeper realities in our life that influences how it is that we think, feel, and decide to choose. And ultimately, that's our life in itself. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to discuss some things. This week is all about familiar. What's familiar to us, the familiarity factor, right? And so we're going to discuss that. All right. So when it comes to the uplift, this is a show that is brought to you by Ascension 57. Uh, if, Let me ask you a few questions here. Have you ever had the opportunity, Christine, wonderful to see you this morning, have you ever had the situation where you had a discussion and it may not have turned out the way that you had wanted to, and maybe you had acted out in a way that you normally wouldn't have thought that you would, right? And then as you're looking at it today, you're saying, well, that wasn't that big of a deal. Wasn't that big of a deal at all. So why did I act that way? Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever had a situation as to where you were on autopilot? You found that your life was pretty much on autopilot, where you woke up in the morning, you got rolling, and before you know it, you're getting ready for bed. And you really have noticed that you didn't really have any intention in that day whatsoever. Have you ever noticed that to be the case in your life? Have you ever had a situation as to where you were driving home and before you know it, you're in your driveway from the work that you drove from? Have you ever had that situation? If you ever had that situation, go ahead and type in the words, that's me. Go ahead and type in the words, that's me. Where you found yourself as to where kind of things were on autopilot in your life. They were just happening. They weren't really finding you to have a whole lot of input when it comes to that, right? Go ahead and type that's me. When you're sitting there and you're thinking about that, I want you to think about the word familiar, because that's the discussion that we're going to have today. All right. Now, this is the Uplift. This show is all about where we are uncovering the deeper realities that influence our thoughts, our feelings, and our choices. Because I fully believe that if we see clearly, then we have the opportunity to live intentionally. Right? If we see clearly, we have the opportunity to live intentionally. Wonderful to see everybody here. Go ahead and let me know where it is that you're watching from, what state that you're watching from. I always enjoy seeing how far the community reaches out. I know that we've had some times where we have people, outside of the United States. I'm here in California. It's 7 a.m., a little bit after 7 a.m. Go ahead and let me know what state that you're watching from here. And also let me know where it is, if you happen to be seeing the tape of this show. Go ahead and let me know in the chat where it is that you're watching from. Appreciate you for being here. All right, so This show is all about familiarity today, right? Our familiarity today. So when I say that we're talking about it from the standpoint of what's familiar, I'm talking about that deeper reality. And I'm going to bring up something that I think that you'll understand a little bit more when we go ahead and we share that example. All right, so this is the Uplift. I'm your host, Dutch Phoenix. Listen, people don't come here for what they know. No, instead, they come here for the moment, to experience the moment, because that is where things start to make sense. That's the Uplift. Real growth, clear direction, expanding what's possible for you. All right. Now, it has to be said that I am not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. Anything that is shared here on this show is not for any intention of replacing any medical professional whatsoever or licensed professional in the least. I happen to utilize my own personal experiences that people can relate to. And in doing so, I also utilize my old professional career, which was 20 plus years as being a medical researcher, both in the medical realm as well as the mental health realm of things. And every day I learn something new, whether it be pursuing neuroscience or whether it be pursuing behavioral patterns or whether it be pursuing the approach that I use in order to be able to get somebody's attention to be able to understand a deeper reality. Because everybody learns from something different. But this is not meant to replace any medical professional at all. I do believe that this show, if you happen to be here for a while, you'll find that this show can help you enhance those relationships because you'll be asking different questions and you'll have a different purpose and you'll literally be allowing that medical professional to be the optimal for you and the benefit for you. All right. So that's the way that we do things here. All right. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a situation where you were listening to the radio and you heard one of your favorite songs, right? And you know how it goes, right? You start to hear your favorite song and you start to kind of like doing the chair dance and you start to think about nostalgia and you start to think about the time when, you know, had this memory, that memory, all sorts of different things. You know this song so much that you don't need to see the lyrics in order to be able to sing, right? But then there was a time where you noticed that there was a lyric in the song that you never noticed before. If you've had this happen to you in the past, go ahead and put the word moment. Go ahead and put the word moment in the chat. Go ahead and put the word moment in the chat. You've had this situation as to where not only, I'll take it a little bit deeper, not only did you notice that there's a lyric in the song that you didn't notice before, but that lyric happens to make a difference in how you understand the song altogether. If this has happened to you, go ahead and put the word moment into the chat. Because we've all had this situation happen in some ways, right? Hell, I used to actually put words to a lyric that I didn't understand right away, right? Or I didn't know right away. And I literally would put different lyrics into the song or into the beat, right? And so, yeah, because I'm half deaf and don't understand the lyrics all the time. Right, exactly. I wasn't half deaf and I still did that. I still put my own lyrics to the song. But in this case, we thought we knew this song. We thought we knew the lyrics. We thought we knew it down cold. But then all of a sudden, one day, we heard something that we didn't hear before. And then we realized that that lyric, well, it made a difference in how that song was meant to be understood, right? Well, that's what it is that we do here with the Uplift, is that we uncover deeper realities so that you can understand things a little bit differently. Notice I didn't say judge yourself. So that you can understand things a little bit differently. So you can understand how things work in our mind, in our nervous system, in our body. Because I fully believe that if you have the opportunity to know a little bit more of how things work and see things clearly, well, then you have the opportunity to now be able to be intentional and see what's possible. So today we're going to be talking about that word familiar. See, often we run on autopilot. We run on autopilot because we are going by things that are familiar. But I'm going to take it a little bit further for you. I'm going to take it a little bit further for you because it's more than just familiar. What it is that it's predictable. Okay, it's predictable. And the reason why I want to say it's predictable is because if you've been here with the Uplift for a while, you know that our brain and our nervous system is all about survive first, live second, connect third. Survive first, live second, connect third. In fact, if you're here and you understand what it is that I'm understanding here with regards to familiar now and predictability, go ahead and put in the chat, survive first. When we're sitting there and we're going through our day, we are making decisions, we are having feelings, we are having thoughts that seem to be like just like that, or even faster. We have reactions to things that happen in our life. We have situations as to where we go ahead and we move in a direction that we feel is necessary, right? We feel is necessary, one, to be able to make sure that we understand it, and two, to be able to be certain that we're understood, right? We want to be heard. So when we're looking at it from the standpoint of the song and the lyric, it's really easy to see how this can occur, right? I mean, think about it. This is a song that you probably heard 20, 30, 40, sometimes 100 times or even more. And you kept on singing it as if like you knew it down cold because you did. You fully believed that that was the case. And then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, as you're listening to that song on that particular day, all of a sudden you hear that lyric a little bit differently. Or you hear the lyric for the first time. And that makes a difference in how that song has you understand or feel. Well, that's what it is we're doing here. We're talking about familiarity. Well, our brain wants things to be familiar. Now, I know that a lot of people like say, well, why is it that our brain works against us? Well, it's not really working against us. It's really working for us, just in a way that we're not looking at. Laura, wonderful to see you. Christine, wonderful to see you. Jules, wonderful to see you. So when we're looking at it from the standpoint of the brain, in the survive first mode, it's making sure that it realizes the pattern and it recognizes what is predictable. So that's what it is that it's happening here. It wants things to be predictable. It wants to predict so as to make sure that it's aware and it's prepared. And that wonderful to see this one. It's prepared to make sure that you survive first. Now, notice I said survive first, yes, but then there's also live second and connect third. Because the brain and the nervous system is meant to do that as well. The human behavior is meant to do that. It's meant to live. It's meant to experience life. It's meant to connect. But we have to get it out of our survival center first. It's important to do that. And this week, what we're going to do is that we're going to literally learn why it is that the brain goes into that survival center, why it is that it goes into that mechanism, that systemic way of going through that process to ensure that it's about survival first. Then on Wednesday, what we're going to do is that we're going to show through diagram and so forth, we're going to show the neuroscience. We're going to show exactly which pieces of the brain is part of that scenario. And then Thursday, what we're going to do is that we're going to talk about practicality, right? We're going to talk about practicality, how it is that now that you're aware of how this thing's working, you can also see what's possible and work from a totally different frame of mind. So this week we're going to be breaking down the familiarity factor. Okay. So I appreciate everybody for being here. I really do value your time. I know that your time is valuable to you, and it certainly is to me. And I want you to understand that, when we are talking about the moment, it's going to be the moment that you're going to recognize, similar to what you did with the song. You're going to see it's like, whoa, wait a minute, I didn't know it was working like that. Why is it working like that, right? And you're going to have more questions. And that happens. And that's why it is that we go ahead and we have Friday where we do the review and we discuss it even further. And that's why with the episode, I invite you guys to have a community discussion so that we can talk about it further as well. So the moment here today is that our familiarity is based off of our survival, not off of what our consciousness is in our living. It's not what it is that you're familiar to, hearing, or familiar to what it is that you're seeing. It literally is that way because your brain is there surviving, insisting of what it is that is filtered to you so as to ensure that you survive first. All right? So that's today's message. I appreciate you for being here. Listen, take today's moment with you. I know for a fact that the more clearly that you'll see, the more possibilities that will expand for you. And now the choice is yours. That's the uplift, real growth, clear direction, expanding the possibilities for you. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about it. Good morning, Christine. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. I'm feeding the fish right now.
Okay,
Doing my
I got some
whole
fish behind me too.
morning routine.
Gotcha. Morning routine, huh? That's
I
interesting.
know it's 10 o'clock.
No, I wasn't even thinking about that, but I was thinking about the routine and the word familiar that goes along with that, right?
Well, it's you reminded me of this really funny thing in college when it was 1987 and my roommates and I we were listening to Depeche Mode, and there's a
Okay.
song where they go, "People are people, so why should it be that you and I should get along so awfully?" And that's the lyric in the song. And my roommate's sitting there, her name's Melissa, and Melissa's singing the song, and she goes, "People get along so awesomely." And I'm like, "Awesomely?" She goes, "Yeah, awesomely." I go, "It's awfully, the opposite." She's like, "Oh my God." In her head, it was like she thought it was a positive song because she's such a
Mm-hmm.
positive cheerleader that, like, "Oh, awesomely, awesomely." I'm like, "No, it's awfully." So when you said that in the beginning, that reminded me of when, like, she just totally remembered the song wrong. And, I do that because I don't understand the lyrics sometimes,
Right, right.
but yeah, I remember that. I mean, that was a million years ago, and I still remember that because it was hysterical. And every time the song came on, we'd all laugh.
Well,
But
that's the thing. The thing that you mentioned there, how you remember that from so long ago, is because the moment is something that you see that you can now not unsee.